2, 3. Stomach goes. Okay, if you did not touch your tummy or your stomach, you lose. You are going to be person number 1. If you did, you touched the fastest. You're number 2. If you need a tiebreaker, 1 game of rock, paper, scissors. Go ahead.
Triform or transform? The 3 types of convergent boundaries are continent. I know that's an continent. Convergent.
We're going to see. We're going to move them around and stuff. We're going to simulate some stuff.
I have no idea what we're doing.
Okay, so. So if you and your partner had a chance where you both were debating between 2 answers, you might have gotten them confused, please ask me. I actually gave a positive in my last class because someone came up and asked me. Sometimes you guys don't always ask, so I'd rather you ask me now than us not know during the catalyst. So, Aiden, pick number 1 through 4.
What number is that?
What number is
There's already a
He's
Nathan.
at 2.
Come on!
2.
It's no fair!
There's a Nathan stick, isn't there?
I did take the Nathan stick out. Alright. Green. My last class, we voted the Nathaniel stick that was in for their class as well. We actually changed it to Miss Allen's stick. So if I get picked, I have to share with you the correct way. And you guys can fix my answers if I'm wrong. So, thank you, sir. Okay, green number 2. What did you and your partner talk about? I know you've only been in our class for a little bit, but what did you and your partner talk about for the first one? You guys didn't talk? Why didn't you guys talk? Okay, it's not an excuse to not talk. Okay, group next to them. Charlie, what did you and Carlos talk about?
We talked about what are the 3 types of the boundaries.
Do you want to share them with me?
Alright, there's divergent, convergence, and
Thank you. What's the last one? Starts with a T.
transform.
Transform, yes. So, saying it in complete sentences. The 3 types of plate boundaries are divergent, convergent, and transform. Nice job, Carlos. Thank you for that. Number 2, Momo, pick a number 1 through 4.
1.
Yellow.
Yellow. Yellow. Go ahead. Let's start to share.
The 3 types of convergent boundaries are continental, oceanic.
Perfect. Really great. She used her notes. Once again, that's acceptable. That's not cheating. That is a nice touch there. Challenge questions. Does anyone think they know the challenge question or want to try it? Carlos?
When it starts separating, when it looks like that.
Oh, okay. Okay, so what boundary is that when they're rubbing against each other?
I think it is.
Help them out, Momo.
Continental.
Okay, but what, not the types of plates. What boundary is that? Transform, thank you. So, based on what they just helped you add, what causes earthquakes? Transform boundaries. more to it. Anything you think you know, it's a challenge.
That's what I think.
Okay. Eileen, do you want to add? Yeah, since it's on the fault line. Okay, that's good. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. So when there's that pressure that builds up? Okay, very good. Alright, so it's frozen. Our challenge question is part of our real assignment for today, what we're going for. So our objective, what we're going to try to do, we're going to identify and model the 3 types of faults that cause an earthquake using kinesthetic movements. Kinesthetic is like a fancy way for us to just say, having you get up and do things or use things, which is why we have our blocks here for later, which we're not touching now. We see you messing with your blocks, so receive a warning. So, moving on. I showed you a little bit on Tuesday, a video of some earthquakes and stuff. So, that was just to get you excited. This is our my final video for you of earthquakes. You can do lights. Thanks. You can move up. Move up now, please. The other day, when we were talking about the transform boundaries and how it causes earthquakes, remember how I talked about how lucky we are here, like in California, we have a lot of like building codes and we know how to prevent earthquakes, and like we have a lot of the like materials we can build buildings correctly so they're safer. That other video, did you see how we saw California's video and the amount of damage they had, and then Taiwan?
Oh my God.
What do you think? What was the huge difference we saw between them? Carlos.
Taiwan was way more dangerous.
Why? What did you see? Describe specific things.
Like buildings were down and fires were there.
The difference is like California, like it's just like an earthquake, but Taiwan, there were like high buildings, and when we moved, it started like going down like on everybody and all that. So it's more dangerous than California.
So they might not be able to have as many preventative features, like maybe they just don't know how, maybe they don't have the knowledge, they don't have as many architects or engineers that have gone to college for that, to be able to prevent those things, maybe they don't have the resources. So how we can prevent against earthquakes all depends on what we know and what resources that country has. Go ahead. Alright, so back to your tables if you came up close. Based on our prior knowledge, think about what we've been doing with our whole changing Earth unit. Think about what we did yesterday, or I'm sorry, Tuesday with our transform boundaries. And then the video we just watched. I want you to come up with a scientific definition of earthquake. If we want to sound really good, right? So we can be detectives here, we can really think about it. When we're detectives, right, we need to look at our evidence, look at the things we've learned, consider everything. Come up with our best definition, and we're going to just vote on who had the best definition for earthquake. So come up with a scientific definition. Remember, scientists, we got to really examine things. So, best definition. We'll vote. We'll see who has the best one. All right, I think I saw Devin's hand first.
An earthquake is when 2 plates break and causes everything to move.
2 plates break. Okay. All right, what do you have? Mo, what did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
The definition of the definition is the moving land, moving plates moves and scrapes each other, which causes an earthquake.
Okay, out of the 2 I've heard so far, I think Devin's, my vote is that Devin's is the best so far. He had a little bit more detail. Thumbs up if you agree, thumbs down if you disagree. We're gonna get to it, Sean. I see you. You're very excited for your answer. I see you. Okay. You just came from lunch. Oh. All right. Meet me at my desk. Thumbs up? Sorry, I got distracted. Thumbs up? Okay. All right, so let's see if we can find someone that beats Devin's. Now, Sean, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's hear you.
I think that the tectonic plates have to play the first
You think the tectonic plates what? I like how you used our vocabulary for tectonic plates. There's one big one that I really want to hear. The type of boundaries it is. So keep that in mind. You are the people that are going to add.
It's in parentheses.
But did you read that part?
No.
So So if you don't read it, I don't know that that's what's on your notebook. Okay, I'll take one more person. Based off Sean and Devinsville, let's vote real quick. Who do we think is better? I still think, yeah, I think Devin, because he used plate tectonics. We heard that. So I vote so far Sean. Those are my votes. Do we agree or disagree?
Agree.
If you don't have a vote, you can just be like, I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Oh, I'm getting some mixed reviews. Okay, so I'm going to go with Sean's. All right, Jacoby, you can add.
When two continental plates collide together and have the transform boundary make this shape.
When two continental plates collide together, they create a transform boundary. What was the last part?
And makes the earth shake.
Makes the earth shake. Okay, I think Nakobe so far is my new favorite. That one's, everyone agrees with that one. Okay, so Nakobe's is the best. Alright, next up, Nakobe. So, an earthquake. This is the shaking of the ground caused by a sudden splitting of two blocks of rock along a fault. So, earthquake. Please start to right. Thanks, guys. I don't know why they moved it. So we had our transform boundaries, and I would show you the hand gesture, right, where they get stuck a little bit. We had that pressure that would build up, right, because like the extra land. All right. So, earthquakes happen along faults. I know we haven't learned what a fault is, but sometimes I mention it. We've seen it a little bit. If you were to guess, best educated guess, it's okay if it's not right, describe a fault. You can use your hand motions. I mean, I do my hand motions all the time. So you can use your hand motions. That's going to be person number one. Person number two is going to describe where the fault happens. Like, where do you think it's located? Is it only in certain parts of the world? Is it, where exactly are we thinking? By the plates, which plates are involved? Things like that. Those are the types of answers I'm looking for. So let's work with face partners since we did shoulder last time, right? Okay, so let's work with face partners. Person with the longest hair, you go first. Go ahead.
A small This is like
conversion crashing. Yes, conversion crashing.
Okay, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Okay, so my partners and I had a very wonderful conversation. We described a fault. We kind of thought it might be something like a trench, like how we had some of those plates in Convergent that would make those deep oceanic trenches. So we thought it was kind of like a big hole or a trench. And then we described that the fault might happen in between the plates, like maybe there's that gap. So let's see how accurate we were. A fault is a fracture or break in the Earth's lithosphere, so again, where those plates are, where two blocks of rocks scrape past each other. So it is. We have this hole or we have this break between the plates. So if your table said that, excellent job. You guys already knew. You could tell. Bless you. Class, I did this example and something went wrong and the stick like went a weird direction. So I'm gonna move it this way. So popsicle stick. You see these, sometimes doctors have them, sometimes we use them for other things. So if we see how it bends, right, it kind of has a little bit of give with it. It can move a little bit without like me breaking it, right? You can see how it's like clearly kind of curving. But if I put a lot of pressure, oh, bent too much there, but we see how it cracks. If it cracks, what else do you see? Like, describe our edges.
They're pointy.
Sharp.
Okay. What else about them besides they're sharp?
They're like not always straight.
Yeah, they're not straight, they're very rugged. We have gaps, is that what you just said? Right? Okay. So if we think back to this picture that I showed you in the very beginning, look at the concrete, look at the ground. Like, look what happened to our ground. Is that kind of like the way our stick looks when I broke it? I know it didn't break very well. Oh, this one is just not a good one. But each time we break the stick, right? Like, it has these jagged edges, right? We see these kind of cracks. They're not even. It's not like a straight cut. All right. So, stress. Stress is the force exerted when an object either pushes, presses on, or pulls on something. So when we see this is some type of stress. Stress, the force exerted when an object pushes on, presses on, or pulls. To our neighbors, if need be, or if they need it, kind of just tilt it so they can see better if they didn't get them all. So, I want us to draw a picture. Think about these words stress and fault, and I want to come up with a picture. On the example I have here, if you make a mistake, sometimes it's your fault, and then you stress about it. So in my first class, when I did the stick example, and I think this is why I was so cautious with you guys, I broke it, and part of the stick shot out of my hand and went all the way over there, and I was worried it was gonna hit someone. So it was my fault that happened because I was the one bending the stick. So I was really worried, I was stressed, I was nervous. So think of something like that. Other examples. I had one student, he drew a picture of a stick figure doing homework, and he drew little frustration cloud above him. And he said it was his fault that he didn't do his homework, so he was really stressed. Think about something like that, stress, fault, draw a picture of it to represent it. Okay, so at faults, at these points where we have these cracks in the earth, right? Tectonic plates they're either pushing on something, they're pressing on it, or they're pulling against it. As they slide past each other, this causes stress. So this causes a lot of that buildup. When we did our hand motions for transform, right, we would slide past, but sometimes they get stuck. So this is what's causing some of this stress. One plate is pulling one direction, another one's pushing against it, right? They're pulling, all sorts of things like that. So this is what eventually is going to cause our earthquakes. So I already had my last class make your triangles for you, so you are in luck. Hopefully your triangles haven't been too destroyed, and you can still use them. But they should look like two pieces of wood, so make sure you have them. Some tables have two, some we didn't have enough to have two, so I'm sorry if you don't have two sets. And they should have a piece of tape kind of between it, but you should see a gap in your tape. This one has a gap. Make sure you have at least a small gap in your tape. That's a large gap for that one. So they should have put their tape on it, right? You should be able to see the tape. Forward. And then they probably drew designs for you. Raise your hand if you do not have two blocks, or at your table do not have blocks that are taped together and have a drawing on them. Raise your hand. You guys don't?
We don't have two blocks.
Oh, okay, but there's two blocks building it. Yeah. Okay. Just making sure. So, I want you to take turns with the blocks we have, but I want you to start to move them around. Don't break the tape, but see how they move, which directions. Don't break the tape, don't take the tape off. See which directions they move, and then pass it on. Confirmation. That's okay, as long as it's still on it. So you can talk to your partners at this time. You guys can talk about what you're noticing, what you're seeing. Figure out all the different ways you can move it. Use our teams. Use our teams for this.
Which part?
Any. We can use our whole team. Just move a little. one other way. So she did this way, like she can do up and down. One other way. Pass it to him. One of them should see. I kind of walked around and looked at a few of your groups. The ways most of the groups I've noticed, these are some of the things I picked up on. People could go up and they could go up, they could go down, right, where one was going below the other, below it. It can go above it. And then side to side. So if you move yours like side to side, what happened to your design, right, or on your tape? It looked kind of crazy, right? It would move. What did you see? It would get all wrinkled. Okay. So let's think about how this would correspond to our actual plates. So this is exactly what we see. We have our normal plate, which is a fault when one plate is going to go down, right? Which is what we saw when we moved those blocks. So when one plate is moving down, this is one of our normal plates. This is caused by two blocks that are being pulled apart. So a normal fault is when one plate or block, you can think of it like your blocks, slides down. So it's going below. Do you need to move closer? Okay, this definition is kind of smaller. If you need to scooch up a little closer, you guys can. So, where have we heard this before? Why does this sound familiar? When we hear about these normal faults, what does this remind us of?
A boundary.
Which one? Specific. Okay. Think about the definition we just wrote down. Do you want to help us out? Divergent. Yes. Divergent boundaries. Remember, it said the plates were separating. They're moving away from each other. So, as the plates are moving away from each other, they start to slide past each other. And that's when one drops below. So, reverse. This is the exact opposite. Reverse, right? Like when you play Uno and you get one of those reverses and it goes the other direction. This one goes the other direction. This one's going up. If normal drops below, sinks below, this one raises up. So, this is caused by two rocks, or two of our plates, that are being pushed together. They're squished together. A reverse fault. Oh, sorry. There we go. Sound familiar from? Want to try again, Devin? Okay.
Convergent.
Convergent, right? Because they're coming together and then one's being pushed upwards. Right. Excellent. Oh, let's check. He's great. Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll keep it in mind. So this is a strike-slip fault. This is when two blocks of rock are moving sideways, horizontally, kind of like our picture we see. So they're going in opposite directions, right? Kind of like our hand motion we use. This is a regular transform boundary. Oh, I didn't put it as an answer. Sorry, Momo. So this is a regular transform boundary, right? When they move past each other, we know the hand motion for that one. So, strike, slip, fault. It's this bottom one down here. You just took your notes.
Transform band.
Transform boundary. Well, it's all the way down there. Transform. Excellent. Okay, so we're going to do your guys' exit ticket. You have 4 questions, or I'm sorry, technically 4. This one, I want 3 different answers for this, okay? Close our notes first. Close our notes. Remember, I just want to see what you remember. Close our notes, it's okay. From under your seat or something is fine. Doesn't need to go in the backpack. It's not a real test. There's still the top question. What is an earthquake? Make sure you're reading carefully to answer all of them and you're answering incomplete sentences. Remember, I will not give you credit if it is not incomplete sentences. Stop it. I'm not sending you up to the nurse because you stabbed yourself with a pencil. Playing with blocks, he is listening. I have George's eyes on the board. This George is not playing with blocks. He is listening. Oh, you're taking the tape off? Okay. Who can tell me, where does this look familiar from? Just show of hands. Oh, Laura. Our quiz we just took. Yes. Show me by thumbs up, thumbs down. Who really struggled with this section of the test? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Okay, so this looks like a lot of us. I want us to go back over this because grading this section of the test for you was not one of our proudest moments. Guys, if we're going to get to our goal, right, if we want to beat the other class, like we need to bring this up before the unit exam. I haven't graded theirs yet either, so I don't know how they've done. But I'm saying, I was a little disappointed to see this. Okay, so remember how I told you there could be multiple answers? So for this one, volcanic island arches. So remember, we need to know which plates are involved. So these are the ones, A and B, that are going to be repeated. Is it first? Whoever's closest, will you shut off the alarm? I know we have 5 minutes. Thank you, Devin. Okay, so A and B. These are the ones we're going to keep reusing. So by volcanic island arches, does someone have a guess? What types of plates are we using here? Which are the plates that are involved? You look a little uncertain. Go ahead.
Continental, divergent, and transform.
Okay, so I just want to figure out first, let's break it down like this. First, only choose these plates. So which plates are involved first? Because these are the boundaries. These are going to be the plates that are involved with the boundaries. Did you want to try again?
Continental.
So a continental plate and which else? So you think it's oceanic and continental are going to form these island arches. All right, let's vote. Do we agree or do we disagree? Okay, someone who disagrees. Denise, why do we disagree? What do you think it is?
Because oceanic is what makes volcanic island.
So is it two oceanic? Is that what you're saying? Or just
Yeah.
one? What are you saying? Two? This is correct. It should be two. So it should be B, B. So because I know those are the two plates that are involved. Now what are they doing? Are they diverging? Are they going away? Are they coming together? Are they going past each other? What are they doing? Show me with the hand gesture so I know.
I have a question.
Okay. You can stop the hand gesture so I can hear his question.
On the volcano island arc, isn't it like volcanic like rock? So
Volcanic rock comes from that. You're getting like a unit ahead. I like that you're asking this, but wait till rocks and minerals. I promise. I will tell you the answer. So yes, they do come from volcanoes, and we'll kind of figure out the process. So both these come from water. This is, remember, on our foldable, the ones where they come together. So look in your notebooks. Oh, this is a different class's notebook. Look in your notebook under your foldable. So look under oceanic, because that's the type of plate we had, right? And we know it's convergent. It's convergent boundary. So oceanic. Where are your notes? Oh, you're absent. Okay, you still need to make them up for notebook check. So you should have something in there about the types of plates when they collide, that they form volcanic island arches, or that they form volcanoes. So this is convergent. What about rift valleys? Think about what a rift valley is first. Who can tell me where they're located? Don't raise your hand. Remember, they are with our mid-oceanic ridges. They kind of are partners, they're friends, they hang out together. It is part of that, but tell me some more details. We're in the right direction. Yeah, they are oceanic plates, so this is true. Is it just one or two or? Yes, they are both oceanic plates. We're going to put BB. Once again, we're just deciding which plate. Now, what type of boundary is happening? Are they coming together? Are they moving apart? Are they transforming, moving past? Show me with your hand gesture. Divergent. The ones that some of you are divergent, some of you, I'm not sure, I think you're doing like you're telling me to steal second. Yeah, so if you did the divergent, separating, you are correct. It is D. Okay. You guys need to pack up because it's time to go. So we can pack up.
I got 2 right.
I got 4 right.
I got 5.
Okay. My homeroom. Faith. And Andrew sits there. No. Okay, single file line. No transform boundaries. If I bump into you and cause an earthquake, you are in trouble.
Earthquake.
I don't want to cause an earthquake. Alright, so you go to the end so you don't cause an earthquake and hurt us all. Alright, you can start walking to your next class.